All right, so I want to go through module 2 real quickly. Who and how do you help? So, the first question, what do you want to be known for? Really, this is like, what is it that people come to you for? Like, as soon as somebody says something, snap, they're like, yup, I need to talk to you. And also, it makes it very clear for somebody to refer someone to you as well. And here's the thing, when I first started coaching, I was a perpetual avid people pleaser. I'd let so many people define who I was and what I wanted in life for such a long time, it was just hard to stop. I kept thinking about what was expected of me. I thought of who would be proud of me if blank. The result was that I never wanted to be too out there in my message. Everything was neutral, and my main goal was being liked, even in times that I didn't realize. And I'll even say, even in my sales calls in the beginning. Problem is that being vanilla isn't attractive to your audience. There's nothing different about you. It's extremely difficult to stand out. Just think about all the things that you're scrolling on in social media on your timeline. Do you stop for vanilla, or does something have to catch your eye for you to stop? There's one thing that you need to know while you're on this road. Done is better than perfect. And I say this with all the love in my heart. Swirling around is going to keep you stuck. Getting something out there and then tweaking and falling and tweaking and falling and tweaking and falling and tweaking and finally figuring out is going to do you a lot more than trying to stay in the safety of a little cocoon and not get yourself out there. So put yourself out there, be a little daring, and take that chance on yourself. You are making a bet on yourself here, right? No one ever launched an idea, product, or business without some failures. Think of everything you do as research. You learn what works and what doesn't. If you wait until everything you have is the way you want it, that you're 100% sure is going to work, and the stars are all aligned in your favor, you will never get anything out there. And there are people waiting on you to help them, so don't keep them waiting. Now, please don't get me wrong here. Don't just throw out just anything. Have a plan and a reason for everything that you do, but do not be paralyzed by wanting it to look a certain way or sound a certain way or be a certain way. The first thing I want you to do is start to notice, because the first thing I want you to do is start to notice yourself, because if you don't, no one else will. During this time, I don't want you to go ask a zillion unqualified people of their opinions on what you should do next, what your program should look like, or if they like your brand colors. Stop seeking approval and start going within to feel what's right for you, because deep down, you really know. Like, it's funny because I used to always seek that myself, and I got to the point where I'm just like, I really need to talk to somebody about this. And I'm like, why? Why do I do it? Vickie, you know the answer. What is the answer? And sometimes I sit there and be like, I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. And I'm like, you know what? If you knew the answer, what would it be? And then I was able to answer the question. Really, truly, we have the answers inside us of who we are, what we want to be known for. It's just that sometimes we're scared to really say it out loud. Your secret sauce is usually something that comes easy to you, but it's hard for other people. This is why so many people miss their own brilliance. It comes easy. And that's also why sometimes they think that they shouldn't charge for it because it's so easy. And for some reason, we think that we have to work hard for money. It's not like that either. This thing that you do so easily doesn't come easily to others, so don't discount it. So who are you? What do the closest people say about you? So write down 3 top things off the top of your head. What do the people closest to you say about you? And type in 3 things. What comes easily to you that you enjoy doing? 3 things. No more than 5. 3 things. What would you talk about for hours? What could you talk about for hours and lose track of time? One thing, one subject. What would that be? What would people say your strengths are? 3 to 5, list them. Just, one word. Resilience, stick-to-itness. I guess that's kind of like more than one word. Perseverance, great attitude, stuff like that. What are you naturally great at? I'm naturally great at talking. I think I'm naturally great at telling jokes and being funny, but my kids don't think so. So list 3 things that you are naturally great at least one, okay? Up to 3. What makes you different? How are you fascinating? I want to know 1 or 2 things that makes you stand out from a crowd. Okay? What do people come to you for help with that you enjoy the most? Right? So people come to you sometimes for help with things and you don't enjoy it. Like people would come to me for help with math and I didn't enjoy it. Because I like talking to people who understood math at a higher level. So when I had to teach people math at a lower level, I got frustrated. So yes, people come to me about that, but I did not enjoy it. What do people come to you for help with that you enjoy the most? Like when people come to me, and this has nothing to do with my business, it's just an example. People come to me to help like organize their closet or organize their craft room or organize their desk. I actually do enjoy doing that, even though my desk is disorganized at the moment that I'm recording this. What did you want to be when you were a child? Because sometimes that is the thing we really want to do now. It may not be for you, but this is why this question is here. I wanted to be on TV, and guess what? I still want to be on TV. I would love to be an Asian talk show host. All right, what is the most important thing to you in terms of your client's transformation? So what do you want them to get out of their work with you? One thing. What is that thing that you want them to see? What is most important in their transformation? So, like for me with you guys, I think that one of the most important things is that your business grows and that you're making phenomenal income and that is making you happy. But the most important thing to me is that you transform the world with your story. And in that transforming of your story and helping the world, that you transform within your own story. That is what is important to me, that you see that value in your story. Okay? What attracts client to you? The truth is that we are what our clients want. There's something about you that your prospects look at and think, I wish I could be like him or her. And as much as we downplay sometimes to think, shucks, we're not all that. You are all that in the eyes of your ideal clients. You represent possibility to them. You represent success. You represent strength. You represent what it would be like for them to be on the other side of their struggles. Now, this doesn't mean we act aloof or better than, which I know none of my clients in my programs would do. But we do have to exude this confidence within ourselves that we can do what we say we can do, because confidence is attractive. What have you mastered that positions you as an expert? What positions you as an expert? What have you achieved that your clients wish to achieve? So whether it is that your client results show what you can do for others, which, that actually is mostly what people look at. They don't care so much about certifications or degrees or things like that. They want to see what kind of outcomes you've given to other people. And sometimes before we have a lot of clients, we discount those friends or family members or colleagues at work that we've helped to achieve things, and we don't think of those. So don't forget about those. And then list here, what have you mastered? And what gives you the right to say you're an expert in this area? It could be that you struggled with it in your own life and that you've overcome and figured something out. Like your story in itself makes you an expert. So list a few things here, no more than 3, that shows that you're an expert. What makes you relatable to your ideal client? What struggles have you overcome that your ideal client is facing? Now keep these to the struggles that you have overcome that your ideal client is facing. Okay? Be specific in those. So what makes you relatable to your ideal clients? What's happened in your life that you've been able to overcome? So maybe 3, no more than 5 things here. Okay, what makes you likable and interesting? What do others enjoy about you? Now, this is something that you may have to go ask your friends and family about, but list 3 things that make you likable and interesting. How can you step up the realness factor? What can you commit to showing people so they relate to you more? See, a lot of times we have a shell around us because we think that we don't want people to know that thing about us, right? That we don't want them to see all the mess ups and all the behind the scenes and stuff. Now, I'm not talking about sharing all your junk out into the world. And if you're currently going through something, wait until you're on the other side before you share that. But what other things in your life can you commit to be more real? Can you show that, sometimes it's messy hair day. I have PJ Coach Day, which, by the way, I haven't done in a while. I need to do that. Maybe it's the no makeup day that some people do. Or maybe it's just showing that, you know what? Some days you feel like staying in bed, watching Netflix, eating bonbons. But most of it really is just being real about who you are, what you say, how you convey it. And maybe the way you step up the realness factor is just by committing to actually being honest with people and not worrying about if they're going to like you or not. Giving them feedback that's useful for their life instead of babying them or trying to not make them feel bad, if that makes sense. So in what ways can you step up the realness factor? Maybe list no more than 2 or 3. Like 1 is enough here, but no more than 3. Okay? Now your message. I remember always screaming in my head, but I'm so much more than that. Whenever I was told to niche it down, I wanted people to know that I was multifaceted, multi-talented. It felt like I was denying a bit of myself if I didn't rattle off every little thing that I could do. Problem is, you cannot be a Jack or Jill of all trades and attract your ideal client. They will be confused. Think about it this way. Would you go to a general practitioner or doctor who said he could also do a heart transplant? Or would you want to go to the specialist who did the heart transplants on a regular basis and had honed his skills, right? Kind of the same thing. You need to let go of this idea that people won't realize there's more to you than what you do. Trust me, your ideal clients are smarter than you're giving them credit for. They'll see you for more than the sign on your door. And if you're scared that by specializing, you'll lose the opportunity to get more clients, it's quite the opposite. Just ask any successful entrepreneur. Specificity wins the day. Refusing to get clear on what you do and what your target audience wants will leave you stuck on the struggle bus to broke land. So commit to getting clear and doing whatever it takes to get clear. Let me tell you that I've watched many people in these last years since I got certified in coaching. My fellow coaches who kept changing their minds about what they do are still in the same place they were when they started because they keep starting over with a new thing. Those who stuck to one thing and were stubborn about that one thing and knew that they could do that one thing and without a shadow of a doubt knew they were an expert in that one thing, have gotten known for that thing and flourished to 6 and 7 figures. So you just need to ask yourself, which one do you want? Now here's space for some thoughts. If you want to put some, this is just optional. Anywhere that it says thoughts, it is optional, okay? Who is your target audience? It's critical to know who you're talking to and what they're interested in so that you can attract the right people. Remember, this is a process of trial and error. When I first started business and marketing, I thought I wanted to help mompreneurs. I quickly realized I have no patience for the little kid problems that they would come to me for, and that I didn't want to be a parenting coach because this is in essence, inevitably what we ended up talking about. So let's get really clear on who you want to talk to so that you can share on any platform. They know that you're calling out to them and calling them into your community. You want them to be able to self-select. So list out the traits of your ideal client. All right. So is it a mom? Is it a single mom? Is it somebody in their 40s or 50s? Where do they live if that is important to you? What kind of education if that's important to you? What is their income if it's important to you? Like, any of these things could or could not be used. Demographics definitely help. Things about their personal life also do help. And then pieces of their business and work life as well. So round it out and just list one trait for these all 10. Now, one of them is just a given, is that they can pay you. Okay? That is just a given. They can pay you. So you don't want to be working with single moms in lower income communities whose kids are on the lunch assistance program. Now, you can do that in your philanthropic time and for your charities, but we need to first make you money so that you can then help those people. Okay? So you need to find somebody who can actually help you, or a company if your target is a corporation. Okay, so the before and after exercise, your future clients want something and they want you to help them get it. The best way to reach them is to speak their language. So using this template, think about where your ideal client is now and where they want to be before working with you and after working with you. So be as specific as possible. So the first column is where they are now, and then where they will be after. Now, if you want a couple videos on me doing this exercise, they are in the storytelling for stages and pages area. Okay, there is a before and after exercise, and it is in the social CTA module, which I believe, oh my gosh, I don't even want to say which one it is. It's one of the beginning modules. Okay, so, it might be module 4. Okay, I'm not even going to say, because right now my brain's not working on that. It is in there. Apologize. Okay, so what keeps them up at night? How do they feel? What do they think about themselves? What do others think of them? What's their average day like? Anything. So maybe 3 things here in each of the boxes. See, these are not very big. So maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at most. Okay. And they don't have to be elaborate or anything. So if we're talking about, like, weight loss or chronic illness or something like that, what keeps them up at night? It could be their chronic illness pain. It could be the fact that they feel like a leech on their family, that they're worried about money for medical bills, things like that. And where will they be after? So this is like after they are all better, because you are a chronic illness health coach. Where will they be after? They will be pain-free. They will be happy. They'll be able to actually sleep, and they won't be kept up at night. How do they feel? So they feel lethargic, brain fog, useless to the world. Where will they be after? They will feel energized, and they will feel like they have a younger body. They feel like they can do anything. What do they feel? What do they think about themselves? That they're worthless, that there's no purpose for them to be here, that they just wish that the misery would go away, and they potentially have thoughts of suicide. Where will they be after? What will they think about themselves? That they are actually able to contribute to society, that they actually feel like there's good inside of them and a reason for living, and that they love themselves again. Right? What do they think others think of themselves? That they're lazy, that they just need to get a better attitude, that maybe if they just lost some weight, or that they're making it up, that it's in their head. Where will they be afterwards? That they feel like others think of them as positive, energetic, contributing. What's their average day like? Spent in bed, in pain, managing their illness, taking pills, and monitoring how they feel. Where will they be afterwards? Able to have a job and go to family functions and go out with their friends and not cancel on them at the last minute. So are there any themes that occur here? Like, it feels like there's no reason for me to be here. that I don't have a purpose. And where will they be afterwards? That they're invigorated about life, that they feel like there is a reason to be here, that they are happy to be on this earth. Um, and they want to go after life with zeal. Okay. So that's one example. From what you wrote, take notes of the topics, and these are things that you can talk about. People either want to get away from pain or run towards pleasure. In general, I found that they have more of an urgency to get out of pain, though. That because it's pain and it's painful, there's more of a reason to want to fix that problem, right? So from all these things up here, what do you think would be some great topics that you could do social media posts about? There might be stories that you could share, or that you think would be really interesting for the people. And here again, you don't want to be too vanilla, right? What would really attract your ideal audience to you out of what you wrote up above that you could share? Like every single one of these could be a moment or a day or a part of your day that you talk about from the past, because that was someplace you struggled, and then connect it to what you do now. And get people to start a conversation with you, move those into discovery calls. So what topics do you see from the answers that you wrote down that you would want to talk about? And for extra credit, if you want, I would rank them in order of like the ones that are most juicy to the ones that are not. Okay. And this is not a write out what you're going to say about it. This is a list of the topics. Okay. All right, so what is the solution you provide? What problem do you solve? We want to talk about benefits, not process. Talking about the process is a huge mistake I see so many people making. People don't care how until they believe that you can get them to their solution. Now, let me ask you again, what do you really sell? Think about why you invested in Impact Now. What were you hoping to gain? Because I'm selling what you're hoping to gain, right? Income, time freedom, lifestyle, notoriety, a bigger voice for whatever you're an advocate for, legacy, impact, acceleration to success. Secondary was the how, by writing your best-selling book, having a strategy to monetize it, learning to pitch yourself, crafting your book funnel, etc. Right? So what do you sell in that situation, right? Do you notice that the first list here evokes an emotion from you, right? There's a feeling, there's like a feel good that goes with it. The second items are just things that you have to do to get there without that feel good fuzzy emotion. You want to hone in on the emotional equivalent of what your product gives someone. Okay. So why do people really buy a gym membership? To get their life back, to have more energy, to feel more confident, to feel better, attract their love, feel good in a bathing suit, feel good naked in front of the mirror, be taken seriously at work. Think of some good commercials you see on TV. Are they really selling what you think they're selling, or are they selling a way to get an emotional destination? I love pulling apart commercials and movie trailers and things like that. There's a lot of insights in there. Okay, so example, I have a friend I met in networking who owns a cleaning service. Her company cleans commercial and residential properties. The outcome is that you have a clean home or workplace. But what does she really, really sell? We got into this conversation. I watched as her eyes got really big, and she's like, oh my gosh, you're so right. That, yeah, she's cleaning, scrubbing the toilets, but she's actually selling that I don't have to do it, right? Saving time. I can spend time with my family, avoiding something I don't want to do, not even scrub the gross toilets. Convenience. She comes to me and I don't have to do anything. Happiness. Coming home to a clean house after I left it messy. An uncluttered life. Taking off one of my to-do list items that clutters my mind and makes sure my physical items are put away in my home, right? So yeah, she sells that your house is going to be clean, but there's way more to it, right? If she tried to sell you the process, how would it go? Well, it might be important to me that she uses non-toxic organic cleaning products. I don't care how she cleans my toilet, right? I don't care if she drains the toilet and then scrubs it, or if she pours stuff in it and scrubs it, or if she uses a scrubby brush, or if she uses a what do you call it? A paper towel, whatever works, right? Just that it's sparkling clean and not gross from my little boys missing the pot. Okay. So what are your thoughts here on that? Again, the thoughts are optional, but I wanted to give you space to reflect on what was shown here. Okay. So in the following questions for every sentence, end with a so that statement. Example, teach you how to share stories in an engaging and attracting way so that people will want to work with you. So from the pain points that you see for your target audience, how do you help them? So the pain points, right? We can go right back up here. Right here, these are pain points. Where they are now are their pain points. So from those, how can you help them? Okay. What are the tangible outcomes you provide in your solution, and what are the intangible outcomes you provide for them in your solution? What items of what you listed are people willing to pay for? Now, this is key. People don't pay for confidence. They don't pay for happiness. They don't pay for, like, there has to be a tangible connected to that tangible. Now, they do pay for love. That's an intangible that people actually do pay for. But most of the time, they're paying for more money, saving time, getting someplace faster, like, scaling a business faster than they would on their own, more clients, like I said, love, and then there's health that they pay for. Mostly in health, it's weight loss, but it could be chronic illness, chronic pain, and things like that as well. Okay, so just tie these in together. Again, do not write more than what is in these boxes. It doesn't have to be terribly long, okay? Making a memorable introduction. This is one of my favorite things to do. One of the top skills I learned from one of my coaches is how to introduce myself succinctly in a way that would catch someone's attention. I literally see people's demeanor change when I use this. Their ears perk up and their eyes get big. Their interest is high. But first, I want to take a minute to point out the normal way that this is taught and why it lands flat. And I'm not saying that you never use this, because sometimes you will, because it flows in the sentence that you're using. Okay. I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, you can't ever say this, but I help blank to blank so they can blank, blank, blank is all about you. The focus is on you. I. And the way that it lands is it's not about them, right? And people are all about what is in it for them. And it also doesn't show the credibility, right? So if you want to refer back to the column of where they were in the Speak Your Audience's Language template exercise you just completed, you'll find what your ideal client really wants. So that's back to this, where they are now. This is the Speak Your Audience's Language. So if you want to refer back to that and pull some good words out from the before and after to see which ones work best, that's a great place to start. Now let's apply this formula, okay? We are speaking to the results that we already brought to our clients. When we share this, we get instant credibility because we're sharing results that have already happened, like you've already delivered, okay? So as a result of blank, so usually it's working with me or my XYZ program, entrepreneurs, coaches, my clients, it could be parents, it could be singles, it could be teachers, it could be corporations. So whatever your audience is, right, are able to, and then this is the result, so that they will be, are able to blank, blank, blank. So these are all benefits. So A is as a result, B are all the benefits, and then optional. So sometimes this may or may not be appropriate in networking events and stuff. You say, I'm looking for people who blah, blah, blah. So this is the ideal client characteristics, right? Who do you know? Don't mess this up. Just who do you know? Because if you go, who do you know that blah, 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 now you're trying to get somebody to qualify the person for you. And now they're in their head going, well, I'm not sure if Susie or Bob or Joey or Sally really fits that. But if you just ask, who do you know? Somehow it's like more open-ended and they're more willing to talk about it. Okay. So example, As a result of working with me, entrepreneurs become best-selling authors who are able to share their story impactfully, grow their following, create a worldwide reach, and turn readers into clients while they sleep. I'm looking for people who want to write a bestseller for their business in the next 3 to 6 months, knows they have a story to tell, has a proven process, and wants to get a consistent stream of clients into their business. Who do you know? Now, I have changed this over and over again, and even at this point that I'm recording this, sometimes I tweak it and it's a little bit different. Sometimes I say, as a result of working with me, entrepreneurs and coaches become best-selling authors who are able to grow their reach worldwide, create more impact and legacy, and turn their readers into clients while they sleep. I'm looking for entrepreneurs who want to write their book in the next year and use that as a profit center to 6 figures and beyond. Who do you know? So like, you can change it up. Nothing is set in stone. And every time you go work at it, you'll probably find something different to say, or you'll hear a different reaction or see a different reaction in somebody, or maybe you kind of angle your program a little bit differently and you need to tweak this a little bit. Everything is always moving and flowing in your business, okay? So it's not like you create this and you're stuck with it forever, right? You create it, you tweak it, you tweak it, you tweak it, you tweak it, you get something down, you're like, yes, that's it. And then you change your program and you're like, tweak it, tweak it, tweak it. Yes, that's it. And then you add another like, you're constantly going back to this, okay? So don't feel like anything's totally set in stone. It's meant for you to have as a framework so that you can convey what you do in a succinct, easy way. I use this all the time when people ask me what I do. I use this in interviews. I use this in introductions. I use it everywhere. This is also sometimes part of my bio if I choose to do it this way. So yeah, it just has so many different uses. Okay, so now it's your turn. Using the ABC formula, share what your introduction is. Okay, now here's the thing. See how there are, it's like 3 things here, blank, 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 only 3 things. Okay, because people can't comprehend, they can't pay attention that long, and then they get lost in the weeds. And when you lose somebody in this introduction, then they just don't have anything to say. Their curiosity is gone and they're confused. You don't want them to be confused. So make it short, succinct, to the point, something that is very easily understood by a child. Okay? All right. And lastly, no overwhelm allowed zone, right? We went over a lot of stuff. Remember, this is no overwhelm zone. Just take it one part at a time, one section at a time, and one step at a time. If you're tempted to look at other people and feel behind or less than, it's not allowed, right? Not allowed. Everyone is on their own journey. Everyone started someplace else. Everyone is entering this program in a different place, different stage, different year, different mindset, different family relationship zone, different everything, right? The only time you're allowed to look at others is to grab for inspiration. That's all. All right. So that is the end of this module. If you have any reflections, discoveries, anything that you want to capture for yourself, you can put it here. You can journal about it if you want to. This is optional. So if you don't feel like doing this, you also don't have to. All right. Hope this was helpful.